Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
In a world where the skies danced with the colors of twilight and two suns cast vibrant shadows across the bustling marketplace, the alien city of Zorth pulsated with life. It was a place where every merchant vied for attention, their cries mingling with the scents of sweet and savory foods that wafted through the air, tantalizing the senses of all who roamed the alleyways. The vibrant hues of the flora around them were almost otherworldly, each plant singing with colors unseen on Earth. At the heart of this vibrant scene stood Robert, a once legendary gambler known for his cunning and sharp instincts, now reduced to a shadow of his former self. His skin shimmered a shade of iridescent blue, patterned with dark markings that hinted at his noble lineage. Though those bloodlines had been stained by desperation, he had lost much in his pursuit of fortune, and in a moment of reckless ambition, he had made a fateful decision. Today, facing a group of eager onlookers and otherworldly creatures, he would wager the only thing he had left to lose: his daughter Sophia. Sophia watched from the sidelines, her heart pounding in her chest, a mix of fear and anger coursing through her veins. The flickers of her green, luminescent eyes darted between the tables as Robert made his bold declaration that he would stake her hand in marriage in a high-stakes game against an intriguing human who had wandered into their world. She felt the eyes of the crowd on her, a living trophy for her father's whims, and it disgusted her. But beneath those feelings of dread was a small spark of curiosity about this human who had caught her father's eye, the one who could potentially change her fate. Jack, the human who had become an unexpected player in this alien drama, felt out of place but exhilarated. He had heard tales of the wonders of Zorth, the riches, the challenges, the allure of the unknown. But nothing had prepared him for this moment. The thrill of the gamble fired his blood, and he was drawn to Sophia, almost magnetically. She stood regal yet rebellious, and he could see the light of adventure behind her worried expression. "Well, are you ready for this challenge?" Robert's voice rang out, challenging Jack to join his game, the stakes higher than any he had faced before. Intrigued and captivated, Jack stepped forward, his heart racing, driven by a mix of excitement and a desire to rescue Sophia from the fate her father had laid out for her. As the game commenced, the atmosphere grew heavy with tension. Robert explained the ancient alien game, a combination of skill, chance, and cunning that had determined fates for generations. The crowd, aliens of different races, gathered closer, eager to witness the clash of human and alien. Jack began to play, feeling the weight of the stakes not just for himself, but for the beautiful alien woman whose fate now intertwined with his. With every move, he studied Robert, attempting to anticipate his strategy while catching glimpses of Sophia's anxious expressions. The desperation in her eyes synced perfectly with his own determination to win not just the gamble, but her freedom. After several intense rounds, where luck and strategy intertwined, Jack found himself victorious. A loud cheer erupted from the spectators, echoing off the walls of the alien marketplace. The thrill of victory surged through him, but as he glanced at Sophia, he saw not joy but a deep-rooted confusion and fear. "Congratulations, human," Robert snarled, masking his fury with forced pleasantries. "You've won her. But take heed. The path ahead will be fraught with challenges, as our worlds are far from compatible." Caught in a whirlwind of emotions, Jack faced Sophia. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, he saw not just a prize, but a living being with hopes and dreams, someone who could change his life as much as he could change hers. Yet, the weight of responsibility hung heavy in the air. "Are you ready to embark on this journey?" he asked, his voice softening as he reached out to her. Sophia hesitated, the conflict within her mirrored in her eyes. "My life was never a game, and I need to understand what this means for us," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Now, with their paths aligned, they stood on the precipice of a new life together, a human and an alien, bound by a gamble and the uncertainty of love. The marketplace buzzed with excitement as Jack and Sophia took their first steps into a life that was utterly foreign. Jack felt an exhilarating mix of freedom and trepidation, with Sophia at his side, her vibrant alien form contrasting sharply with his more mundane human appearance. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were daring to defy the very fabric of their worlds. "Where do we go from here?" Jack asked, his voice steady, but a quiver of uncertainty lay beneath the surface. He barely understood the intricacies of alien customs and was acutely aware that he needed to protect Sophia, not just from her father, but from the misunderstandings of their disparate cultures. Sophia took a deep breath, her luminescent eyes reflecting the chaos of the market. "We need to find a place where we can talk freely and figure this out," she said, her voice firm, masking the storm of emotions roiling inside her. "I know of a quiet glade outside the city, deep within the Lumenswood forest. Follow me." As they navigated through Zorth, Jack observed the alien architecture around them. The towering spires made of a translucent material that shimmered like the night sky. Creatures of various shapes and sizes rushed past, each one an embodiment of a different culture. Some had feathers, others shimmering scales, and some appeared to change colors in response to their emotions. It was a vibrant tapestry of life that both amazed and intimidated him. Within moments, they arrived at the edge of the Lumenswood forest, its entrance framed by trees that glowed softly, illuminating the path like luminescent lanterns. The deeper they ventured, the quieter it became, the sounds of the marketplace fading into a distant hum. "Here it is," Sophia declared, stepping into a small clearing that opened up to reveal a serene pond reflecting the bioluminescent plants surrounding it. It was mesmerizing and otherworldly, providing a safe haven for them to gather their thoughts. Jack gazed around in awe, yet his attention soon turned back to Sophia. The glow emanating from her skin was enchanting, a reminder of how different they were, but also how perfectly they complemented each other. "This place is incredible," he said, allowing himself to relax slightly. Sophia sat on a fallen log, her demeanor shifting from anxiety to contemplation. "I know you won the gamble, but this isn't what I wanted. My father's actions have jeopardized my autonomy. I need you to understand that my life is not a prize to be won." Jack knelt beside her, sincerity etched in his features. "I didn't mean to put you in this position. I came here seeking adventure, but I never intended to take away your choice. I can help you if you want." Her expression softened, the tension in her shoulders easing. "I want to take control of my life, but I don't know how. My future was always dictated by others, and now, I'm not sure what to make of this." "Your future is yours to write," Jack encouraged, his eyes meeting hers with an earnestness that sent a thrill through Sophia's chest. "You're brave, Sophia. If you want to break free from your father's control and forge your own path, we can face it together." Sophia considered his words, pondering the bond that was rapidly forming between them. A wild, reckless idea began to unfurl in her mind. What if we worked together? We could explore the vastness of this world, uncovering truths and adventures that both of us have never known. I can guide you through Zorth, and you can show me what it means to be human. The thought excited Jack, igniting a spark of adventure. "I love that. Even the idea of exploring your world fascinates me, Sophia. But know that your choices matter more than my dreams. If something doesn't sit right with you, just tell me." A smile danced on Sophia's lips, a mixture of relief and hope. "Then let's make a pact. We find places we want to go, challenges we want to face. We do it together as partners. No games." Jack held out his hand, a gesture of unity, a promise. "Partners," he echoed, sealing the bond they were forging. He felt a weight lift off his shoulders, sensing that together they could face whatever hurdles lay ahead. As they sat together in the glade, plans forming in their minds, Jack couldn't help but feel that his time in Zorth was destined to be more than he ever imagined. With Sophia by his side, he was ready to embrace the unpredictability, the thrill of the journey, and perhaps the blossoming love between two beings from vastly different worlds. The morning sun poured through the canopy of the Lumenswood forest, casting playful patterns of light and shadow across the clearing where Jack and Sophia began plotting their adventures. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming lumenfleur flowers, and the gentle chirrup of alien creatures echoed all around them. First, we should start with something relatively simple, Sophia suggested, her excitement bubbling to the surface. A journey to the Crystal Falls. It's a breathtaking sight, and it's accessible. But beware, the path can be treacherous. We might run into some of the forest's more challenging inhabitants. Jack nodded, invigorated by the prospect of exploration. Simple sounds perfect. Let's do it. What do we need to prepare? Sophia's eyes sparkled as she gathered her thoughts. We should collect some provisions. I know where we can find some edible roots and fruits. They are plentiful this time of year, and we will need energy for a long trek. Together, they ventured deeper into the Lumenswood, each step bringing them closer to a shared understanding of their worlds. Jack marveled at the alien flora and fauna, taking in the vibrant plants and peculiar creatures that seemed to watch them with interest. Sophia, effortlessly agile, guided him with confidence, showcasing her knowledge of the forest. As they moved onward, they came across towering trees with leaves that resembled translucent wings. These are the Verdala trees, Sophia described. Their sap is sweet and nutritious, a favorite among the locals. We can tap one for some sustenance. Jack watched as she skillfully harvested the sap, admiration blooming within him. He realized how much depth there was to her character beyond the initial impression. She was not only captivating but also resourceful and brave. After gathering enough provisions, they began their journey toward the Crystal Falls, the anticipation palpable in the air. The trail wound through lush undergrowth and across small streams, with every corner revealing more beauty than the last. However, as they descended into a shaded area of the forest, the atmosphere shifted. A low growl resonated through the trees, darkening the mood. "Did you hear that?" Jack whispered, instinctively holding Sophia's hand. She nodded, her expression shifting from excitement to alertness. They had crossed into the territory of the Grilzer, a notorious creature known for guarding the Crystal Falls. Just as they'd feared, a massive creature appeared from behind the brush, its slick, scaled body gleaming in mottled shades of green and black. With piercing amber eyes, it stared them down, growl deepening into a snarl. "Stay behind me," Sophia urged, her voice steadier than Jack felt. He tightened his grip on her hand, reluctant to leave her side. "Shouldn't we back away slowly?" Jack suggested. Sophia, however, shook her head. "No, the Grilzer is territorial. If we try to flee, it might see us as a threat. We need to assert confidence. I'll distract it, and you look for a way around." "You want to distract it?" Jack exclaimed, panic creeping into his voice. "That's not a great idea." "It's the only one we have," she replied, determination shining in her eyes. "Trust me." Before Jack could voice another concern, Sophia stepped forward, her presence commanding. She called out to the creature in a melodic tone, weaving a rhythm in her words that soothed the tension in the air. The Grilzer's growl softened as it tilted its head, intrigued by her approach. Jack watched, awestruck by her bravery. With the creature's attention diverted, Jack carefully navigated the underbrush, searching for an alternative route to the falls. He felt the tension rise within him, but focused on each step, his heart racing at the thought of losing Sophia to the creature's wrath. Suddenly, while assessing the terrain, he spotted a narrow crevice leading up the side of the cliff separating him from Sophia. "Sophia," he called out, his voice echoing through the trees. "This way." Sophia caught a glimpse of the opening, her eyes lighting up with hope. "Great, we can climb up there." She moved away from the Grilzer, who now appeared somewhat disoriented by her approach. As Jack climbed, pulling himself up steadily, Sophia followed suit, each of them focusing on maintaining their grip and balance. The thrill surged through him as they ascended, adrenaline fueling their movements. Finally, they emerged above the treetops, and the view took his breath away. The Crystal Falls cascaded in a magnificent display of shimmering water, splashing down the rocks with the grace of 1,000 diamonds. The sun hit the water just right, creating rainbows in the mist. Jack couldn't help but let his awe spill forth. "This is incredible," he marveled, turning to Sophia, who was equally captivated. "Now you see why I had to bring you here," she exclaimed, her laughter ringing like music in the air. They shared a moment of pure exhilaration, the bond between them deepening with each challenge they faced. Together, they had overcome fear and uncertainty. As they basked in the beauty before them, Jack realized that this journey was no longer just a gamble. It was a chance for a new beginning. But as they stood side by side at the edge of the falls, with serene beauty surrounding them, little did they know that Robert was watching from afar, discontent brewing within him. He was not done with his daughter, nor with this human who had stolen the privilege of guiding her destiny. The breathtaking view of the Crystal Falls had invigorated Jack and Sophia, creating a moment of tranquility that settled over them like a warm embrace. Laughter danced between them as they splashed in the cool waters, leaving behind their worries momentarily. However, beneath the surface of this newfound freedom, unease stirred in the depths of Robert's heart. As the two ventured closer to the base of the falls, vibrant rainbows arced through mists that kissed their skin. Sophia's laughter rang like music in Jack's ears, each note pulling him closer to her. It was as if the world had faded away, leaving only the sound of rushing water and each other's presence. Yet Jack couldn't shake the feeling that their slice of paradise might not last. Suddenly, the tranquility shattered. A deep, weighty voice resonated through the glade, causing both Jack and Sophia to freeze. "What is going on here, Sophia?" Robert emerged from the shadows of the forest, his presence looming like a tempest, eyes aflame with anger. The sight of her father extinguished the light in Sophia's eyes in an instant, her heart sinking as she confronted the consequences of her choices. "Father!" she exclaimed, a mix of fear and defiance flashing across her face. "What are you doing here?" Robert's gaze shifted from Sophia to Jack, contempt etched in his features. "You brought a human into our sacred lands? How could you betray your lineage this way?" His voice crackled with fury, echoing against the backdrop of the falls. "He didn't bring me here. I chose to come," Sophia asserted, stepping in front of Jack protectively. "I won't let you dictate my life any longer." "Foolish girl, you've always been too headstrong for your own good," Robert spat, his rage palpable. "You think you can just abandon our customs and run off with this human? You're making a mockery of everything I've worked for." Jack stepped forward, heart racing as he faced Robert. "This isn't about your work. It's about her life. Sophia wants to choose her own path, and I'm here to support her." Robert's eyes darkened, narrowing at Jack, a menacing smile crossing his lips. "You'll support her? And how long until you grow tired of this little adventure? You don't understand the weight of what it means to be my daughter." Sophia's heart raced in her chest, torn between defending Jack and her father's relentless tradition. "I'm not an object to wield or a pawn in your games. I'm my own person." Robert took a step forward, his imposing presence instilling fear within Jack, but he stood his ground. "And what do you think this human will do for you? He cannot protect you from the forces that govern Zorth. You're nothing without the power of our lineage." As Robert's words sank in, Jack felt a surge of determination. "I may be just a human, but I care about Sophia. I want to understand her world and protect her from the tyranny of tradition that's suffocating her. She deserves to make her own choices." "Deserve?" Robert growled, a look of incredulous disbelief washing over him. "You think she deserves anything? She was born into our lineage, and that comes with responsibilities you can never comprehend." Before Sophia could respond, Jack knew that the tension was reaching its boiling point. "Let her go, Robert." Jack's voice held a calm intensity, a challenge wrapped in unwavering resolve. "If you can't accept that she chooses her own life, then this argument is pointless." Robert's eyes flickered with surprise at Jack's audacity, but anger quickly reclaimed the moment. "You think you can threaten me? I will not allow some petty human to disrupt my legacy." The words dripped with venom. Sophia felt an unfamiliar sense of strength swell within her. "You don't control my destiny any longer. Jack respects me, something you have never done." With a sharp intake of breath, she turned to Jack, her gaze filled with unspoken admiration and affection. This human, despite the odds stacked against him, was willing to stand firm at her side. "Let's leave, Jack. We don't have to fight this battle now." But Robert had other plans. "You will not leave my sight with him," he roared, reaching for Sophia. The moment of conflict hung in the air, thick with tension. Without thinking, Jack instinctively pushed forward, placing himself between Sophia and her father. "This is not how this should end," he asserted, his heart thundering in his chest. "We can resolve this without violence." But Robert was relentless. "You've made a grave mistake by crossing me. I won't allow it." Before either Jack or Sophia could react, Robert unleashed a wave of energy, a powerful display of his alien abilities that crackled through the air like electricity. Jack barely had time to brace himself as it struck him, sending bolts of pain through his body. He fell to the ground, anger and shock running through him. "Jack!" Sophia screamed, rushing to his side. Her heart ached for him as she felt the gravitational pull of her father's rage threatening to tear them apart. "Get away from him, Sophia," Robert warned, his voice a low growl. "No," Sophia yelled, her determination solidifying. She knelt beside Jack, instinctively searching for a way to protect him, her own powers flickering on the edges of her consciousness. The bond they had formed ignited a strength she had never known. In that moment of clarity, Sophia rose to confront her father. "Your reign of control ends today, father. I will no longer be a pawn. I will choose who I want at my side." The lines of division had been drawn. She stood as a barrier of defiance between Jack and Robert, ready to carve a new path in the face of her father's overwhelming hostility. As Robert stared down at his daughter, a storm brewed in his heart. He had underestimated her resolve, and this fight was far from over. The confrontation between Robert and Sophia crackled with intensity, each word laden with the weight of choice and consequence. As tensions rose, Jack struggled to rise from the ground. He could feel Sophia's warmth and fierceness surrounding him like a protective shield. "Father, this ends now," Sophia declared, her voice soaring above the brewing storm. "You have treated me like an object for far too long. I choose Jack. I choose my own life." Robert's anger simmered, but Sophia's insistence left him momentarily speechless. He had always wielded control over her, and her rebellion was a profound shock. Sophia's power began to surge as she embraced her newfound strength, intertwining her essence with Jack's while urging him to rise. Jack managed to push himself up to his feet, pain still pulsing through him, but empowered by Sophia's steadfastness. He looked into her eyes, the connection between them deepening. In that moment, a sense of unity enveloped them, a profound recognition that they were meant to be together, regardless of the obstacles. "We will be bonding in a way that transcends our worlds," Jack said, his voice firm yet tender. "It's more than just choosing each other. It's about mating, uniting our fates. We will forge a future together." Sophia's heart swelled at his words, understanding the depth of what they were about to undertake. "Yes," she breathed, determination igniting in her gaze. "Our mating will show our worlds that love knows no boundaries." In that moment, they turned their attention back to Robert. The old alien's expression twisted with rage as he processed their declaration. "You dare to consider mating with a human? You are forsaking your heritage." "But I am also claiming my own destiny," Sophia replied, standing firm. "Love is a force that cannot be restrained by tradition." With her heart ablaze with passion and purpose, she took Jack's hand, feeling the warmth radiate through their connection. An ethereal energy enveloped them, intertwining their essences in a dance as old as time itself. Robert's face twisted in a mix of fury and fear as he realized he could not break this bond. "You are a fool to think mating with a human will protect you from the consequences of your choice." Jack and Sophia stood united, sparks of energy igniting between them, a reflection of their love and commitment. They could feel the world around them shift as their destinies intertwined, the ancient magic of mating lighting up the glade with vibrant colors. Together, they channeled their energies, surging toward Robert. The combined power of their bond surged with raw intensity, overwhelming Robert and casting him back into the shadows from which he came. He roared in fury, but the echoes of his anger faded as Jack and Sophia emerged victorious. As they embraced, the world around them felt anew. Jack leaned down, resting his forehead against Sophia's, finding solace in the warmth of their shared connection. "Now we begin our journey anew," he whispered, "and we'll do it as equals partners," Sophia replied, a soft smile gracing her lips. In the following days, they explored the vibrant landscapes of Zorth, their bond solidifying as they learned about each other's lives and traditions. The energy they had channeled during their mating blossomed, bringing harmony to both their worlds. Sophia became a bridge between humans and aliens, guiding Jack as he offered new perspectives to her people. They celebrated their love openly, a symbol of unity rather than division. As time passed, Robert began to understand. Watching from the sidelines, he witnessed the depth of their partnership and the happiness it brought to Sophia. Eventually, he learned that love triumphs over control, and alone, he realized the power of embracing change. With Sophia and Jack leading the way, Zorth transformed, shaped by the blending of cultures, and a new dynamic began to flourish within the once divided communities. As they stood together on the edge of the Crystal Falls, witnessing a world that had come alive with possibility, Jack and Sophia knew that their mating was not just an act of love. It heralded a new dawn bridging their worlds. Holding hands, their hearts beat in unison, the rhythm of two souls that had chosen to transcend the limits of fate. They were partners forever, thriving in a world where love reigned supreme and adventure awaited them endlessly.